3, 2, 1. What is going on, guys? And welcome to the WWE Raw Review and results for the 30th of January edition of the show. The post-Royal Rumble show. The Royal Rumble was dramatic, and I did do a review on that show, so check that out on the channel if you did miss it. But Monday Night Raw, who's played possum. It's been second place to SmackDown for so long the past couple of weeks, and it's fighting back because it wants to win the road to WrestleMania. And you have to say, with a show like this, it might be on its way. We're going to be talking all the good things and all the bad things from Raw, because as we know from a WWE show, there's always good and bad. Apologies about the noise in the background that you can probably hear. It's been a complete nightmare today, but I have, unfortunately, this review's coming out really late because I just didn't watch Raw until really late. I was out all day. It's going to be the same sort of problem for SmackDown, so again, expect the review a little bit later on, similar sort of time tomorrow. But let's get right into exactly what happened on Raw, and it was, from start to finish, pretty much very, very entertaining. I mean, I skipped a couple of segments because I just didn't care about them, but that again helped me. And I mean only a very, very few. But we start off the show with Jerry KO coming out, talking about how Kevin Owens had retained his title, how Chris Jericho had broken the record at the Royal Rumble, and you know they were speaking about that. And yeah, it was a decent way to start. I like seeing them going, oh wait a minute, out comes Braun Strowman. Because if there's one person that Kevin Owens ought to thank for his victory, it's Braun Strowman. Strowman said, oh, Reigns, yeah, I might have attacked Reigns last night, but Owens, I'm coming for you. And you know why I'm coming for you is because you made a promise. And he did. That's a fact. Owens made that promise backstage, and we got it. Foley came out, he announced it. He said, Owens, look, you have said exactly that. You said you would give Strowman a shot, and guess what? He's going to get a shot live tonight. And that was a great way to start. Didn't overstay its welcome. Perfect way to start the show. The noise is finished. Intensity there. A little bit surprising that Strowman comes out, but it all brings together that narrative of why Strowman attacked Reigns last night. Not just because Roman Reigns speared him with Goldberg a few weeks on Raw, but also because Strowman was next in line for the title and he wanted Owens at that title. It all came about, it all made sense, and it set up a very, very good match later on in the show between Strowman and Kevin Owens. It was a hell of a lot more intriguing than one I suppose would have thought maybe 6 months ago. Now it's a very intriguing match and one I was looking forward to. And Foley did well in this segment. Again, nothing went over, nothing overstayed its welcome. Jericho got in his lines about, you know, the Rumble. Nobody looked an afterthought. Everybody looked very, very good in this match. And Strowman looking like a beast, who without shadow of a doubt deserves a shot at the WWE title. What a start to the show. And that's what I always say. Good starts to the show create good shows. Simple as that. We then saw Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho in the first in-ring action of the night. This was a pretty decent match, I'm not going to lie. Seeing the two longest people who stayed in the Rumble, they were out there going to work again, and they did so very, very well. Sami Zayn getting a big victory, and that was nice to see. You know, he has for so long not really had a clean victory over a big star, but he got it this week against Chris Jericho. And you have to say, Sami Zayn, without shadow of a doubt, down the line, going to be having a United States Championship opportunity, and who's to say he won't be taking the title right off Chris Jericho's shoulders. A very decent match, you know, nothing too special. Didn't expect anything that special. Hell, these guys combined had lasted over an hour and 40 minutes in the Rumble. And I know it didn't last that long, but if you combine the 60 minutes Jericho did and the 42 minutes that Sami Zayn did, that gets you to an hour and 40 minutes. So, you know, a lot of work they put in the previous night, and a very decently paced match, one that I enjoyed. Zayn getting the victory, a clean victory for him, and as you guys will know if you've watched any of my reviews before, I love Chris Jericho, I love what he's doing, but it was nice to see Sami Zayn with a big win, and the underdog from the underground is on the way up, maybe. Yeah, no, I'm not going to make that doesn't even make any sense. Tony Nese versus Mustafa Ali. I like Tony Nese. He's one of my favourites in the cruiserweights. I didn't really watch this match, I'm not going to lie. I literally did skip it until right at the end. Nese getting the victory, which I'm very happy with. I like Nese, and I want to see him move up the pecking order. We did see kind of a little bit of a tease, maybe, to a possible Tony Nese versus Austin Aries feud right at the end, with Aries interviewing Tony Nese at the end of the match, talking about how he's basically got about as much charisma as dishwater. So yeah, that was interesting to see, and I'd love to see those two in a feud. I think that would be very, very good. We then saw Seth freaking Rollins and Stephanie McMahon face to face. Stephanie McMahon vowed to tell Seth Rollins what she thought on Monday Night Raw, and damn it did she do that, but damn it did Seth Rollins get in the lines too. He also said one big bloody thing. I mean, McMahon hit the nail on the head. Rollins hit the nail on the head. Rollins said that Triple H has always been a disappointment, and he's a disappointment every night to Stephanie. He was just throwing bombs. He brought Stephanie's kids into it. I mean, this was intense. This was the Seth Rollins I like to see. Some will argue it was a kind of a heel promo, bringing kids and family and stuff like that into it. But after what Triple H did to Seth Rollins, you kind of have to say, well, that being screwing him out of the Universal title, you have to say maybe it's all deserved. And this is a Seth frickin' Rollins that people love and people cheer, because they like the guy, they get behind the guy, and they want to see him destroy his creator. Very, very, very good start to... Well, this feud, only in its infancy, really, when it's really got going recently. Obviously, we had the seeds planted a few months ago. But it is really starting to get going, and everything we've seen involving this feud so far has been pretty much perfect. We then saw an interspecies... I'm joking. It wasn't an interspecies match. It's reminded me of a SmackDown match a few years ago. But anyway, we saw a mixed tag, 6-man thing. I don't like these matches just because I find them really, really pathetic. You know, how basically, you know, you can have two women on the outside who don't get tagged until right in the end, and then both come in fresh, and we're supposed to believe that one of them's the hot tag and one of them's... For me, it just is a bit pathetic. But anyway, this was an okay match. It was a way to showcase... you know, Bayley, Cesaro and Sheamus, fresh off their losses last night against Charlotte and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Maybe they could have done a little bit more than this with both feuds, but it is both will probably get rematches at Fastlane, and we'll have to see whether the title changes hands on either side again. You know, this was decent, but personally, yeah, I don't particularly like mixed tag matches, but it was an okay way to make sure that these two feuds got on a show that was very, very heavy on star power and very, very heavy on stories and moving them forward, in which it did that very, very successfully. We then saw the coronation, sorry, not the correlation, that's fucking mass, the coronation of Neville as the Cruiserweight Champion, as the King of the Cruiserweights. I can't do an accent. I hate the Newcastle accent. That's not even a Newcastle accent, but anyway, let's just move on from that, because that's pretty embarrassing. But yeah, out he came, and he said, you know, I am now the king of the Cruiserweights, hands down, undisputed. Rich Swann came out. He wasn't happy about this. What did Neville say? Well, bow down to your king. Rich Swann was not happy about that either. Did he do it? Of course he didn't. He walked off. Just as he turns his back, Neville strikes him, and we get a little bit of a brawl from these two. Again, Neville showing why he's a fantastic heel. Swann showing focus, that he wants that title back, that he's going to get a rematch, and he wants to take the title off the King, Neville. And that Swann doesn't think that Neville is in any way the king of the Cruiserweights, just a placeholder for, and just the person holding his title before he wants it back. Simple as that. You know, the fact that Swann came out on top was decent as well, and this was very, very good and a good segment, and I'm very, very much into this feud and this storyline and into this Cruiserweight, you know, storyline, which is very, very rare. Kevin Owens faced Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship, and I actually, honestly, I did think to myself when Jericho was put through the announce table, I thought, oh my god, Strowman could do this. But I always knew in the back of my mind that the one person that was bound to get involved with this match was Reigns. This was the Reigns I want to see. Folks, this is the Reigns. The guy who doesn't talk, he just gets it done in the ring. He beats people up and he has a fun time doing it. This is the Roman Reigns that I want to see. I don't want to see Roman Reigns talk, and he doesn't need to talk. I'm not saying I like Reigns. I'm not saying that I didn't kind of moan when his music hit. But at the same time, this will work. And if you book Roman Reigns like this, you can recover him to a certain extent. It's getting to the point where without Roman Reigns turning heel, he's unrecoverable. This could be a way to recover it, but I still think the ultimate thing has to be turning him heel. I mean, I enjoyed this match before Roman Reigns had interfered. I liked the fact that Strowman cleverly went after Jericho straight away. You know, choke slammed him through the announce table, maybe foreshadowing the Undertaker and Strowman and Roman Reigns' feud that might go through WrestleMania. God knows what's going to happen with that. No word from Undertaker on Raw as of yet, but they'll be holding off for that one. Jesus Christ, they can't give us all of the big things in 1 week. But I thought, Strowman looked 110% like he absolutely deserved his place at the top of the title. Reigns came out, impactful, went after Strowman, beat Strowman up for costing him the title or costing him a chance at winning that match last night, and then for good measures he speared Kevin Owens' ass before he got out of there. Very, very good. Whether it's Reigns, Strowman and Kevin Owens and the feud kind of all gets meshed together, or whether it's just Reigns and Strowman, this is certainly very, very interesting. We saw more seeds planted for the possible Jericho and Owens match throughout the night as well. With the backstage segment, and also the fact that Kevin Owens just stood there and watched Strowman put him through the table with a chokeslam. So we'll have to wait and see. And then we got a shock. And this was why it reminded me of Raw many, many years ago, when you used to watch Raw and it was unmissable. And you never knew what to expect. It was unpredictable. You couldn't predict what was going to happen next, because we saw Paul Heyman, as much as I love Paul Heyman, we got to see Brock Lesnar. It wasn't advertised. This is a way to pay back, look, this doesn't pay off, and this isn't good for the casual fan, because the casual fan may only tune into Raw when they know that Lesnar and Triple H is on the show. But for the fans that watch week in, week out, no matter how crap it gets, we keep on watching. When there's surprises like this, like there was the previous week on Raw with Undertaker and Lesnar turning up, Goldberg was announced, but the other two turned up unannounced. Much the same as we got with Lesnar turning up tonight in Triple H, with it being unannounced. It is a very nice surprise for us fans that watch week in, week out, and it always makes the moment just that little bit better. Heyman came out, he was pissed, Lesnar was pissed. Essentially, in what I think was a very, very, very good Heyman promo, up there with his best, he said, basically, this is but. Whenever you say, somebody's name, a legend's name, there's always a but somebody had his number. And now with Lesnar, you say Brock Lesnar, the only guy that there was not a but for, and now there is, and that man is Goldberg. And Brock Lesnar does not want his legacy to be remembered by Bill Goldberg. Therefore, Brock Lesnar wants Goldberg at WrestleMania, and he wants to beat, victimize, and conquer Goldberg once and for all, and literally write his name in the heights as one of the best, if not the best, we've ever seen in WWE. That was a stellar segment. Heyman sold this match in an absolute instant. I was eating out of the palm of everything Heyman was saying was resonating with me. I want to see this match more than I did want to see this match, and I want Lesnar to win, and I want Lesnar to get one up on Goldberg, and I want him to end Goldberg's career, not because I hate Goldberg, but because storyline. This is so goddamn clever. You make Goldberg look friggin' strong, and then Brock Lesnar kills him. Brock Lesnar ends his career. Brock Lesnar destroys him at WrestleMania. This is perfect, and I absolutely love it. And trust me, Lesnar's going to come out of this looking even better than he did before. And that's why I take back what I said about Survivor Series, because if this was a plan all along, well, then you have and so long as they go through with it, then this is absolutely perfect. And their final encounter is going to be absolutely incredible. It really, really is. This is the Beast versus the guy who wants to conquer the Beast. This is Titan versus Titan. Hero versus hero. Legend versus legend. The question is, which one is going to define the other's legacy? It happens at WrestleMania. No doubt Goldberg will accept the challenge, and no doubt we'll hear from him next week on Monday Night Raw, and it's going to be friggin' awesome. We then saw Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Little bit of confusion as to the ending of this match, and that was a little bit a little bit annoying, but at the end of the day, I think it was referee stoppage, even though the referee didn't stop the match. Bayley running out to save Sasha Banks, but stepping away, not actually interfering in the match in regards to not actually saying anything to Jax, just not actually doing anything to Jax, just saying to her, let her go, stop, which Jax did do. I mean, plants seeds, possibilities that we might see Bayley versus Sasha Banks, because Sasha Banks said in a backstage segment, look, I'm not like you, basically, I'm not like you, Bayley. I don't settle for second best. I don't settle for being a loser. She didn't literally call out Bayley, but it was obvious it was a dig at Bayley while Bayley was there. Bayley then coming out to support her, we could see that. But seeing Jax dominant, seeing Jax fantastic, and the fact that this is Sasha Banks' knee, it, you know, builds up that sympathy that you feel for Sasha Banks, and it also brings up that heat and builds up that heat for Nia Jax, which is just perfect booking. This is really going well. And yeah, this is kind of the ending. Yeah, was pretty shit, and it kind of hurt the whole proceedings. But in the end, it was a very, very good segment and advanced the story massively. We then saw Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Rusev and Jinder Mahal in a tornado tag match. I skipped most of this match. Don't in the slightest care about this feud. Amore and Cass won, and please, God, please, let that be the end of it. But I don't really want to talk about that too much because it just annoys me. And as I said, I didn't watch it, so it didn't really annoy me all that much. And then, holy shit, did we see something very, very freaking special. What a segment. What a feud this is. Every segment at the moment has hit the freaking nail out of the park. Everything's been perfect. The people who make the blimmin' promos for WrestleMania matches must be loving these two, because oh my god, are they making their job so goddamn easy. They're dropping bombs week in, week out. Every segment rocks. The crowd are buying into it, and at the moment it has to be said, I want to see this more than I want to see Goldberg Lesnar. I really want to see Goldberg Lesnar, and Heyman sold it to me so well. But this is just bringing us quality after quality after quality. Hell, and the inclusion of Joe in this was just exquisite. It was perfect. It was absolutely freaking genius. And whoever the hell came up with this idea was a freaking genius. This was bloody storyline telling to perfection. Raw haven't got it right a lot recently, but boy oh boy did they get it right in the end with this show. And I actually would question how much Triple H had to say in this feud, because something tells me he had a lot to say for it. You know, well, we saw Seth Rollins freaking invade NXT, and then we saw Triple H get some guy from NXT, the guy maybe who's going to be the next Seth Rollins. I know it's not the same, you know, kind of sort of build or anything, but that kind of big talent, Samoa Joe, he was the guy from NXT. He was the guy to topple Seth Rollins for Triple H. Coward, coward, coward. That's kind of what Triple H looked like. But he also looked like the cerebral assassin that's an absolute genius, and he's always, no matter how good Seth Rollins thinks he is in the ring, he's going to have that one. He's got Seth Rollins' head. He knows what he's doing. He is the cerebral assassin. He is the, well, many would argue, maybe Triple H is the true architect. It's creator versus story. That in itself sells the match. This match sells itself. But they're not settling for just the fact that the match sells itself. They want more than that, and that's what I love about this. How this storyline could go in so many directions. We could see Rollins turn up to Raw. We could see NXT invade invade friggin' Raw. We could see Rollins go to the headquarters. We could see Rollins go. I mean, the possibilities are simply endless. It's just a case of what they want to do. Triple H, who, you know, sometimes isn't great on the mic. Well, he was absolutely perfect tonight. He had a point. He was absolutely hit the nail on the head. He was fuming. You could see that. And he was perfect in this role. Perfect heel. You feel for Seth Rollins. You want to see him come on top. And, you know, just as you think, oh, my God, we're going to see Seth Rollins versus Triple friggin' H. They're going to actually throw hammers at each other inside the ring. Finally, Seth Rollins is going to get his hand on the man that created him and now is trying to destroy him. You know, hell, Triple H dropped bombs about how Seth Rollins couldn't take the weight of what was on his shoulders, and then his knee kind of snapped. This was freaking perfect. And then guess what? Just as you think that Seth Rollins has got his wish, just as you think that Seth Rollins has got Triple H, bang! Out comes Samoa Joe. What an introduction. What a way to make your debut on the WWE main roster. That's the reason why he wasn't in the Rumble last night, folks. And although we moaned about it, hell, was it worth paying, you know, waiting off on that? What an awesome way to end this segment. Hell, if we get Samoa Joe versus Rollins at Fastlane, Triple H versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, I rub my hands together and say that is going to be friggin' insane. If we just get Joe and Rollins at WrestleMania, I'm more than happy with that. But Triple H, Seth Rollins, this whole feud is absolutely absolutely friggin' perfect. What an episode of Monday Night Raw. I may have had to wait a long time to be able to watch it, but boy oh boy was it worth its wait. I'm going to give this show 7, no I'm not, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a very, very good show. Onwards and upwards to SmackDown. They've got a lot of explaining to do as well. We see Cena as a 16th champion. I'm not going to have time to get a preview out to you, but Cena's the 16th time champion. He tied Ric Flair's record. Where does this leave AJ Styles? Who's going to be in the Elimination Chamber? You've got to bet AJ Styles is bound to be in there. And the other big question, the other big kind of mystery, Randy Orton won the Rumble. Well, is it going to be Cena or someone inside the Elimination Chamber? What the hell does this mean for the Wyatt family, who look in disarray? Hell, Bray Wyatt was going to be Sister Abigail by his own member, Luke Harper, in the Rumble before Randy Orton saved his bacon. And then Randy Orton went on to win the Rumble. Will the leader of the Wyatt family like the idea of Randy Orton standing on top of the Wyatt family? All those questions. I'm not saying we're going to get the answers on SmackDown, but if SmackDown's and their recent record is anything to go by since the brand split, we might well get the answers. Whatever the answers we get tonight or throughout the road to WrestleMania, boy oh boy has WWE turned on the gas as we head to Orlando, Florida for WrestleMania 33. And the road to WrestleMania has been so disappointing in recent years, but hell, if this episode of Raw is anything to go by, this road to WrestleMania is going to be friggin' Florida riding good. That didn't make sense, but we're going to end the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.